Every civilization has asked the same question. How did the world begin? Long before science, long before modern religion, the ancient Egyptians believed they already knew the answer. Their answer wasn't born from imagination alone. It came from something they witnessed every single year. The Nile disappeared beneath floodwaters, and weeks later, new land emerged from the water. To the Egyptians, this was the birth of the world happening again. That first piece of dry land had a name, the Benben, the sacred mound from which creation began. Upon that lonely hill, the Egyptians believed the first god appeared. His name was Ra, and with his first sunrise, the universe awakened. But here's something most people don't know. Not every Egyptian believed the same creation story. Ancient Egypt wasn't one kingdom with one religion. It was a civilization that lasted for more than 3,000 years, and every major city had its own version of how the world began. The story of Ra began in one place above all others, Heliopolis, the city of the sun. Its priests believed their temple stood where creation itself had begun. At the center of that temple stood a mysterious stone. It was called the Benben. The Egyptians believed it marked the exact place where the first land rose from the waters of Nun. The Benben became one of the most important symbols in Egyptian history. Thousands of years later, its shape inspired the pyramids, and even the golden pyramidions placed at their very tops. Every morning, darkness disappeared, light returned, crops began to grow, life continued. To the Egyptians, that wasn't just nature. It was Ra creating the world again. Every single sunrise, to the ancient Egyptians, the sunrise was only half the story. Every evening, Ra disappeared beneath the western horizon, but they believed his journey had only just begun. Egyptians imagined that Ra crossed the sky in a magnificent solar boat. Every sunrise was the beginning of a new voyage. This wasn't just a story. Egyptian priests used the movement of the sun to organize rituals, festivals, and even the daily life of the temples. Some pharaohs built entire temples dedicated to the sun, not to themselves, but to Ra. Here's another misconception. Egyptians did not believe the pharaoh created the sun. They believed the pharaoh ruled only because Ra allowed it. His authority came from the sun, God himself. According to the priests of Heliopolis, Ra did not build the world with his hands. He created it through divine power. The first beings to appear were Shu, the god of air, and Tefnut, goddess of moisture. This wasn't random. Without air, nothing could breathe. Without moisture, nothing could grow. The Egyptians believed these were the first ingredients of life itself. Shu and Tefnut had children, Geb, the earth, and Nut, the sky. Together, they became the foundation of the universe. Here's something surprising. In many cultures, the sky is male, but in Egypt, the sky was a goddess. Every evening, Nut swallowed the sun. Every morning, she gave birth to it again. Geb and Nut became the parents of the most famous gods in Egyptian mythology, Osiris, Isis, Seth, and Nephthys. Their stories would shape Egyptian religion for thousands of years. Almost every major Egyptian myth begins with this family. Understanding them means understanding Egypt itself. But Egypt had another secret. There wasn't just one creation story. Different cities believed different gods created the universe, yet somehow they all existed together. Unlike many modern religions, ancient Egypt had no single sacred book. Beliefs evolved, changed, and merged across more than 3 millennia. Over time, one god became greater than all the others, Ra. His cult spread across Egypt. Even kings claimed they ruled in his name. By the Old Kingdom, pharaohs no longer called themselves gods alone. They adopted a new royal title, Son of Ra. It became one of the most powerful claims in Egyptian history. A king ruled the earth because the sun ruled the heavens. The Egyptians never imagined the sun drifting across the sky by itself. Every single day, Ra sailed across the heavens in a sacred vessel. They called it the Solar Barque. But this voyage was never peaceful. Every sunrise had to be earned. At sunset, Ra disappeared below the western horizon. But the Egyptians believed night was not the end of his journey. It was the beginning of his greatest challenge. Every night, Ra entered the Duat, the mysterious realm beneath the world. It was a place of darkness, silence, and unseen dangers. The underworld was divided into 12 regions, one for every hour of the night. Ancient funerary texts described each gate, each guardian, And each trial, waiting in the deepest darkness, was a creature feared more than any other, not by humans, but by the gods themselves. His name was Apophis, a giant serpent, the living embodiment of chaos. If Ra lost, the sun would never rise again. This battle was never simply good against evil. It was order against chaos, existence against nothingness. According to Egyptian belief, this battle happened every single night. Every sunrise was proof that Ra had won again. To us, sunrise is ordinary. To the ancient Egyptians, it was a miracle, a sign that the universe had survived one more night. Ra wasn't alone. He possessed a force unlike any other. It was called the Eye of Ra, but despite its name, it wasn't an eye. It was a living divine power. The Eye of Ra could become different goddesses: Hathor, Bastet, even Sekhmet. Each represented a different side of the sun's power. Egyptian texts tell of a time when humanity turned against Ra. The old god had ruled for ages, and people believed his strength was fading. Ra summoned the gods. Together, they met in secret. Their decision would change humanity forever. Ra released the most terrifying form of his eye, Sekhmet, the lioness goddess of war. She was sent to punish humanity. The ancient texts describe her fury as unstoppable. Wherever she walked, fear followed. Humanity faced extinction. Then Ra realized Sekhmet would never stop. If nothing changed, humanity would disappear forever. Ra didn't defeat Sekhmet with force. He defeated her with wisdom. He ordered thousands of jars, filled with beer, dyed red to resemble blood. Sekhmet believed the ground was covered in blood. She drank until she became intoxicated. Her rage faded. Humanity survived. Egyptians never forgot this story. Every year, festivals were held. People drank beer, sang, and celebrated the day humanity was spared. Even the greatest god could not escape time. Egyptian myths say that after countless ages, Ra grew old. His bones became like silver, his flesh like gold, and his hair like pure lapis lazuli. These weren't random details. They symbolized that Ra's body was made from the most precious materials known to the ancient world. One goddess believed even Ra had a weakness. Her name was Isis. She knew that every god possessed a secret name, and whoever learned that name held unimaginable power. According to the myth, Isis created a magical serpent. It bit Ra. None of the gods could cure him. Only after revealing his hidden name did Isis remove the poison. The story wasn't about magic alone. It showed that knowledge was greater than strength. After ruling the world, Ra chose to leave it. The Egyptians believed he ascended into the heavens, but he never abandoned creation. Every sunrise was proof that he still watched over the world. Egyptian religion never stood still. As centuries passed, new gods rose to prominence. Instead of replacing Ra, the priests combined him with Amun. Together, they became Amun-Ra, the supreme god of the new kingdom. The influence of Ra spread far beyond Egypt. Greek travelers identified him with Helios. Later, Roman writers did the same. His legend crossed cultures and survived empires. The temples of Ra slowly fell silent. Sand buried their walls. Kingdoms disappeared, yet fragments of his story survived in stone more than 2,000 years later. Archaeologists uncovered forgotten temples, ancient inscriptions, and papyrus scrolls piece by piece. The story of Ra returned to the world. Ra was never just the god of the sun. He represented creation, order, renewal, the certainty that after every night, dawn will come. That idea has never grown old. For over 3,000 years, millions believed every sunrise was the work of Ra. Today, we understand the science behind the sun, but the stories of ancient Egypt still reveal something just as important: how humanity searched for meaning long before it found answers. And perhaps that is why the sun god still fascinates us today.